Hey everybody, it is Mike from Baltimore Rides. Tuesday, November 21st. It is not at all late in the evening. It's probably about halfway through a normal night for me, but I am very seriously contemplating pulling the plug early tonight, and I will tell you for why. I had a very decent start to my night. Started around 2 o'clock like I normally do. And I did some kind of like semi-rush hour school getting out rides. I was, in and around northern Baltimore, Towson-ish area. Made about $100, before 8 o'clock, between Uber and Lyft, and it was pretty much evenly split. It's like 50 and 60. Got a ride to BWI from Towson, and the queue was 77, and I think Lyft's queue was in the 50s, and ridiculous amount of traffic going into the airport. I mean, we're talking, mile and a half of bumper to bumper traffic just to get into the terminal to drop that person off. So I thought to myself, well, that's amazing. If Arrival's traffic is that crazy to pick people up, that's me, the queue's got to be moving quick. This might be an in and out. So I dropped off my passenger. I went to the staging lot. I entered the queue like somewhere around 70 with Uber and, whatever it is, 50-ish with Lyft. And I sat for 2 hours. Yeah, I sat till 9:45 to get a ride. And, my first 45 minutes waiting, I was okay. I ate something I hadn't really eaten, got a snack, kind of took a mental break. And I thought to myself, okay, I can go an hour, and then I'm at like 27, 30, and then by that point you're invested. You're not leaving when you're that low in the queue, because all it could take is a flight or two to come in, and that number could move quickly, or at least it used to back in the old days, which was months ago, at the airport. So I sat. There was no surge, no boost, nothing on either the Lyft or the Uber radar in the city or anywhere around the city. So it's not even like there was a surge cloud somewhere that I could say, hell, there's activity elsewhere, let me leave here. I mean, it was a ghost town. Tumbleweeds were bouncing through Maryland. So I said, I'll wait. And so that's where I am. So I got a ride to Fells Point. Not a lot of money. It's like a $15 fare to downtown Baltimore from BWI. It's nothing to write home about. But here we are. It's 10:30-ish at night. And I'm very confident in saying that I'm pretty sure the night is going to be quiet for the rest of the night. I don't doubt that. I think the cities are pretty much emptying at this point. The train station was active early on. I was taking people to Penn Station today before I got stuck at the airport. There is still a ridiculous amount of vehicle traffic going into arrivals. So I don't know why the queues are moving so slow. And yet, Uber opened up a secondary staging lot, somewhere kind of way out in the beaten path of the BWI compound. So, is that an indication that maybe the airports are just choked with drivers, and there isn't as many ride requests as I thought? Because, Lyft and Uber both were moving slowly. I don't know. I can't really explain it, I'll be honest. I can't explain the math as to why the queues were not in the hundreds and yet, moving slowly. Or, if there was no traffic at the airport, then I would understand, because that means there's no flights coming in and no people arriving and no people departing and blah, blah, blah. But it's a heavy traffic day. People are traveling to these next couple days for the holidays. So just not sure why everything is moving so slow, but I certainly don't want to get stuck back into that mess. And now that I'm out of it and I don't see any activity on the radar screen, I'm very confident that there's not going to be a lot of activity tonight. So I'm going to pull the plug early. I think it's a smart decision. I think Friday, Saturday, Sunday will be busy. I'm confident that I can make money in DC. Not not really sure what my strategy is yet, but I'm going to work my normal hours evening. I think people will party this long weekend, especially once they're done eating turkey. And I didn't really know what to expect these next couple days, but that's kind of my thought process there. So, I don't have my mind made up on what I'm going to do tomorrow. I wanted to originally work a morning shift, and this might be a great lead-in for that. For that last-minute traveler that's getting out tomorrow, and in the hopes of getting on the ground wherever they're going, and actually, spending time with family for Thursday. But I don't know. I just don't know. I'm on 83 North, and it's really bouncy. That's why the camera's blurry. It's trying to focus on me, and it's not keeping up with the bounces. But I just don't know what to make of it, and that's okay. That's okay. There's been some lulls throughout the year, and that's just part of the business model, that there's cyclical stuff that happens. So all the scuttlebutt on Facebook is that it's quiet. I'm seeing it's quiet. And rather than sit in my car wasting gasoline, looking for business that isn't really there, might be more of a tactical decision to retreat for the night. So that's my thought process as of 10:30, guys. I'm going to post this video. Obviously, if another one doesn't follow, then you know what I did. I got out. I will be on the road tomorrow, but I'm just not certain what time. And that's really all I can make of it, guys. There was, when I logged in today, the new update about ratings. Apparently, they're changing the way that riders review us. It's a simpler rating system. I imagine it looks a lot like Lyft's. Surprise, surprise. I think that that's a good decision on their part, because I think ratings are a very tricky subject. And I honestly do feel that it's probably not as clean an indication of a rider's performance or a driver's performance as corporate thought it was. The other day I went from 495 to 494 with no real indication of who might have given me the bad review, because I hadn't really had any bad experiences with any passengers, other than the lady that I had the conversation about tipping with. And I didn't honestly think she was going to give me a 1. So for somebody to drop me down, a basis point with the amount of trips I have, you have to either give me a 1 or a 2 for me to drop a basis point. A 4 doesn't do it. So somebody did along the path. Now, could it have been somebody that just didn't like me? Somebody that was, one of those quiet passengers where I didn't talk and they didn't talk, and maybe that irked them? I don't know. It's tricky, but I bounced right back up to a 495 within a matter of days. So, again, does it really mean anything? I don't know anymore. So I think, again, this is another Uber 180 days of change pat on the back, not a real important change that changes how we operate our business. It's here, let's do something that you guys kind of care about. I look at my ratings. I don't want to see my ratings drop. I like being a 495 driver. People talk about it. My passengers notice it. The things on my headrests behind me talk about 5 stars. They talk about tips. They talk about the 2 things that matter to me that I can control. So, but at the end of the day, am I going to make less money if I'm a 494 or a 495? No, not at all. It doesn't affect my pay model. So there you go. So at the end of the day, I'm still going to get paid the same. When Uber makes changes to my fare, that's when my eyes really perk up. When Uber says you're going to get paid differently, that's when my eyes perk up. And it's ironic that those changes didn't go live right away. We had an update a few weeks ago about the long wait, or the long pickup, thing where you have to drive 10 minutes or more to go get somebody. And I sent messages, every time I had a long trip, and they kept saying, well, it's going to go live soon, which I believe is still December 1st. So changes that affect how much money they pay us are always slower to happen than changes where it's just, I would use the word cosmetic. It's a feel-good change, not a financial change. That's how businesses operate. Part of their way of keeping us motivated and enthused and offering good service, because we represent their brand, we are the face of Uber and or Lyft, is by giving us those attaboys, those pat on the back gestures that we complain about. We complain about things like ratings and, customers giving us a bad review because of traffic or whatever. But does it really matter at the end of the day? No. When I got bad reviews a month or two ago, 3 months ago in the summer, when I'd just been driving for a few months, I felt it. I felt it because I was trying to get to that 5. I was climbing. But, now that I've got a better grasp on the business model, I see it for what it is. It's smoke and mirrors. Ratings don't matter. They matter in the sense that you don't want to get deactivated. You don't want a driver or a rider to give you a bad review and also make a comment that Uber takes notice of. And I see it on Facebook all the time. People get dinged or complained about for pot smell in their car or bad driving or whatever. And Uber's quick to deactivate or suspend people for that kind of crap. And if you're a 5-star driver and you are polite, professional, quiet even, your car smells decent, doesn't smell like an old, Gold's Gym or, a college dorm, I think passengers leave us the hell alone. And I think they just rate us 5-star and they go their own way and we go our way. I think that's the reality. But, if you invite passengers to critique you by giving them stuff to talk about, they're going to talk. Everybody likes to give negative reviews because it's self-satisfying. Everybody likes to call and complain if they have a bad meal to the restaurant manager, or they have a bad hotel experience, or a bad shopping experience at a store, because it gives us an opportunity to puff up our chest and throw our weight around a little bit. And so we all look for those opportunities. We do. We look for that option of, hey, they didn't take good enough care of me. So there you go. But if you do the right things and you weatherproof yourself and you kind of put your body armor on, clean car. I vacuum my car out twice a week, sometimes once a week, depending on the weather. My car's not like a museum. I mean, there's probably a couple little bits of leaves and some stuff on the floor, but it's not gross looking. I wipe down the seats with a Clorox wipe every now and then. The cloth seats are wonderful. I can do that. Get rid of any like really nasty looking stains that somebody's, might leave. But that's really all you have to do. I wipe down my windows with the little Windexy car stuff every couple days, and so it doesn't look like, a golden retriever's nose has been all over a passenger's window. But other than that, that's all you've really got to do. The days of me like waxing my car every other day and putting all this ridiculous amount of effort into making my car the shiniest car on the road, I don't think I need to do that anymore. I wipe it down, once a week or so. If it's particularly rainy, or like when pollen season was around, my car got really, you get that scummy stuff on your car. Maybe you have to do it a little bit more then, but not that much. It's really more about what kind of service you deliver. And that, I know what that is. I know how to read people well enough to know that you shut up when people don't want to talk, and you talk when people want to talk. You make jokes, you're friendly, you're funny, you give them information if they want you to be the tour guide. You just have to give them what they want. And you have to know what they want. And sometimes they just want to be left alone. And that's fine too. So that's that whole customer service piece, guys. But, like I said, I'm going to wrap it. I think I'm done. I'm very, very much leaning in that direction right now, guys. I will be back on the road tomorrow. I will not be driving Thanksgiving. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday will be a return to normal. But, right now as it stands, I've got about, I think it's like 100 and something bucks in with Lyft. And I've got about 170 bucks in with Uber. So I'm sitting somewhere around, I don't know, almost $300 for the week. 170, 160 that I did yesterday, and a little over 100 today. And that's fine. It's fine for Monday, Tuesday. We'll have to see. I mean, obviously I'm losing a Thursday that's normally a strong day on a normal week, but this is not a normal week. So, and family's important. I want to spend time with my family for Thanksgiving, and I think that's amazing that I have the opportunity to do that this year. I think it's amazing I don't have to work a ridiculously long day in retail the night before, and I don't have to work a ridiculously long day the Friday morning of Black Friday. For all of you out there that know what it's like to work retail, or an industry that's tied to retail, like the food industry or the supermarket industry or fast food industry, my heart goes out to all of you guys that may have to do that, because I did it for a long time. I know how horrible it is, and I feel for you guys. And I will not spend a penny on Thursday. I will stay home in my pajamas because I don't want to feed that machine that says there's money to be made on a Thursday. So I will not go to any stores on Thursday. I will not go to any stores at 5 in the morning on a Friday. I just won't do it. That's how much I respect those people out there that are still doing those things. And that if we send a strong enough message to the retail world that we don't want to shop on Thursday night and we don't want to shop at 4 in the morning on a Friday, then maybe they'll evolve. So we'll see. Long, completely off the reservation conversation, guys. I am sorry. Nothing to do with Uber. But, sometimes that's what you get with me. I'm definitely a Forrest Gump, life is like a box of chocolates, you don't know what you're going to get kind of guy. And sometimes I talk about stuff that's indirectly related. And that's the beauty of Uber, is that it is somewhat tied to so many other industries. The hotel, hospitality, restaurant, bar, tourism, retail, all these other industries are indirectly either feed us or we feed them. And that's the wonderful thing, that's the wonderful thing about Uber, is that you become kind of a voyeur. You get to see all these other industries at work. You get to meet people coming out of hotels and bars and working those jobs at odd hours of the day and getting off their shift or going to work, and talk to them about their industries and what they think is going on in their industry. I'm just a curious George by nature. I like to ask questions. So, if I get somebody in the car that's willing to talk about their industry, I like to talk. I had a guy that's a tattoo artist that was in my car last night. And of course I'm asking him about tattoos and about his industry and about licensing in his industry and, what times of day is he most busy and, that kind of stuff. Because the more you know, the more you can have an educated conversation if ever that subject comes up again. And I like to be that guy that knows a little bit about everything. I just do. You guys probably already know that about me. I'm kind of a know-it-all. I know this. I'm honest enough to admit my flaws. I am a bit of a know-it-all. It's got some good things to it. It's got some bad things to it. It's the strengths of being a know-it-all are when a subject comes up, you can usually dip in a little bit and you can wade into that conversation. Sometimes you can be the guy that's knowledgeable in the room when a subject comes up, because you know enough. But the downside of that is that you feel like you know everything, and sometimes that means you open your mouth and insert your foot. I do that plenty, by the way. It's almost to the point where I've grown to like the taste of my toes. I'm joking, of course, but it's, that's the reality, is that I put my foot in my mouth all the time. I do. I know it. And it's a constant, lifelong struggle to balance and temper myself in those days. And that's why I tell you guys all the time, I'm not a subject matter expert in this or any of the stuff I'm talking about. I'm learning with you guys. We're learning together. It's why I love it when you guys tell me stuff, when you guys teach me stuff, when you guys tell me what works for you, or don't do this, Mike, or whatever. All the bits of information that we bounce back and forth, that helps make us all better. And that's the beauty of kind of what we're doing here. So I'm going to sign off. I'm way long-winded. 20-minute video is long for me, and I'm sorry for those of you guys that have made it all the way through. You get bonus points for perseverance and tenacity. So everybody have a great holiday. If I don't hear from you or see you or talk to you in the next 24 or so hours, excuse me guys, I'm just merged onto a road. I don't want to get squashed. And if you tune in tomorrow, I will definitely be making a video tomorrow. So everybody have a great night, and I'll talk to you guys later.